I promise you I haven't lost my marbles. There is a VW Passat behind me, and it is at Topaz, and we are going to be doing some work on it. Let me explain. So this is a 2011 VW Passat 1.6 litre Blue Motion. This car has actually done 96,000 miles with 2 owners. And the reason why the car is here, apart from it being actually holding the Guinness Book World Record for the longest miles ever done on one single tank. And it's I got some stats for you to be able to, if I can find my paper, to be able to go through it. So it has, the exact mileage is 1,581 miles on a single tank of exactly this model. So before I tell you about what we're going to be doing on the car, more information for you guys. This specific actual car just came back from an epic road trip from Morocco directly to the UK, and it actually did, and they tried to beat the world record. It did 1,484 miles per tank. That's 92.5 miles per gallon, and then I think it died at that point. So it missed the world record by literally 100 miles. So yeah, this has right now Moroccan dust on it. Right now, through our workshop, directly from Morocco, right to here. So again, but you know, this is what I love about this, is the fact that there is a story behind this car. The fact that this car is being given away for charity. I absolutely love the whole concept of that, and that's why I wanted to be part of this. Now, the reason why this car's here, and as I mentioned earlier, I haven't totally lost it, is because this car is currently being auctioned at the Piston Heads auction, and all the proceeds are going to charity. And when I heard about this, I thought it'd be a great idea to tidy this car up to make sure that it receives or achieves the most amount of money in the auction, so that it goes to a charity. Now the charity is, I believe it hasn't yet been told exactly which charity it is, but it is going for a mental health charity, which is close to my heart, and something I really strongly believe in as well. Mental health is a very important thing nowadays, and people don't put enough emphasis on it. So this car has got a lot of work to do. Obviously it's a 2011 car with 96,000 miles. There's only so much we can do to make sure that, obviously without replacing parts and repainting, but there's a lot we can do here in-house. And this video is going to be quite interesting because you're going to be able to see all the before and after of exactly what's happened. So, should we talk about what we're going to be doing on the car? Because that is the challenge now. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing the before and after on this. Is going to be pretty cool. Let's just talk about straight off the bat. Paintwork, it's in a pretty bad state. I mean, if you feel it, I don't know if my microphone could hear this, but yeah, it's quite rough. It's got a very, very rough texture, and that's because it's got a lot of contaminants on the paintwork. So that's something that we need to sort out. So it's going to need a really good clay. Once it gets clayed, and we're going to paint correct it, probably about 2 to 3 stages of paint correction. That's going to bring up this sort of really lovely bronzy gold color, which I think is going to look very, very cool. The headlights, I think we can improve substantially, because right now they've gone milky. Again, if you guys know, if you follow our journey and what we've been doing, or if you're into detailing, you know that you can improve headlights, specifically with sanding them and then polishing them up again. Wheels, the wheels need some help. They are basically oxidized, chipped, a bit of corrosion here and there. It's got basically everything that you can think of. It's a cocktail of stuff that we need to fix on this car. So we're just going to refurbish the wheel. We're going to take them off, send them out, refurbish the wheel, clean up all the inside once we've taken off the wheels, so all the suspension components, etc., etc., etc. All the rubbers and everything have, again, you know, mold and I think fungus, it looks like. I don't know, but anyway, it's got mold everywhere, and that's all going to get sorted out. It's all going to be fixed, because again, this car probably would have lived outside, you know, and for quite a while. And knowing that it lived outside, because I'm looking at this bird line right in front of me. Yep, that's bird line. So let's look at the interior. The interior of this car needs a bit of work. But again, I'm actually looking forward to seeing the before and after, because genuinely speaking, I think it's going to be a massive transformation. Now, there is going to be an area where we're going to have to get somebody in to get the leather repaired, because the leather has been ripped on the driver's side. So that needs probably colonization and a little bit of fixing here and there. But once that's done, again, the interior is the leathers are all going to be cleaned up. We're going to give it a really, really, really strong, good clean. We may even take the seats out. We'll see how we get on. But I feel like I need to get stuck into it right now. That's how much I can't see a car being this dirty. It drives me mad. Anyway, let's have a look at the engine bay. Let's see what we got here. First time I'm looking at this, by the way, just FYI. Holy moly! Oh, I think that was a Moroccan fly that just came out. Okay, right. Yeah, this needs a good clean. This needs a good steam clean. So probably what we're going to be doing is, again, look, all that, you can see everything is totally fit. I mean, I don't think this engine bay has ever once in its life been cleaned. So again, great for a before and after shot, and also great to be able to get the most amount we can in auction and to go to the right cause. Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting this started. So you guys are going to be seeing the process now with every detail of it, and I'll catch up with you guys at the end to see what this looks like. I'm excited as you are now. See you at the end.
Hello everyone, David here, and I hope you've been enjoying the hard work and the graft that we've been putting into the VW Passat. But I thought we'd now break up the video and we would treat you to another vehicle that's about to have a transformation of its own. As you can see, behind me we have a rather nice Lamborghini Urus finished in blue Helios, which is a Lamborghini ad personam colour. Looks absolutely stunning, but this is not what we're here for. What we're here for is something rather nice tucked away in the corner over there, which is actually a Lamborghini Urus Performante, and that's about to have a transformation of its own. What we're going to be doing is installing our colour change PPF to that car. So we're going to show you some of the process now before we hand over to Nabil, who's going to tell you some more details about that particular car.
Are you guys ready to see the car fully completed? I'm sure you're ready, and it's here behind me. Have a look at this. Oh, look at that. Look at how that has now totally changed the way it looks. I mean, this car was okay, I want to put it in inverted commas, a standard Urus Performante, in the sense that it was a black car. Cool, it's got the stealth look, it looks great, no problem. I like black cars, but this is just looks unique now. It looks very, very different. In this champagne now, it just looks absolutely amazing. So let's talk about exactly what we did with this car. If you couldn't tell, we actually changed the color of this car using colored PPF. And if you're new to colored PPF and you don't know what it is, essentially it is essentially exactly the same as PPF, clear PPF, that you're sort of used to now. You've seen us do for many, many years, but this has a tint in it. And the fact that it looks like paint is the real selling point for me. That's the bit that you'll see us start to do this a bit more and more and more and more. We obviously initially did skin. That was a very costly, heavily involved job. But this is actually now, we're getting into the stage where we're bridging the gap between the PPF, standard PPF price point, and the colored PPF price point. It's still a bit more expensive because it's still work involved, and the material cost is a bit more, etc., but we're trying to get there. And the fact the time scales is much quicker now to do this job, and the result, most importantly, the result looks incredible. I mean, look at this car. This car literally looks like it's been painted at the factory in this color. And this is what I love about it. Even if you go to the edges here where you have the difference between the carbon fiber, which is original carbon fiber on this car, and the champagne, it just looks seamless. Because what we do is, essentially where you'd have normal vinyl wrapping, you would put the material on. If you're going to be using tape to cut it, you'd use cutting tape to get all these straight lines and things like that. Or a lot of people would also cut it with a blade. What we've done here is we've actually used our patterns to install this film. So it's, in most of the case, our patterns have been adjusted from our clear patterns, for clear PPF patterns, to colored PPF patterns. So that's why, if you see it, this has all been cut on a plotter. And that's why it looks so perfect, and it looks like it's an original OEM finish. So let's talk about the options. So again, this car was totally black, obviously, beforehand. Now since in the champagne color, all the carbon fiber has been protected with clear PPF to make sure it's protected. But we also have two options. When it comes to you doing colored PPF, you either can choose to have the door shuts being left in the original color of the car, or we can change it and we can put the same color on the outside, on the inside, but that obviously increases the cost. So, I mean, with this, it's not offensive for me at all, because the car is obviously in black, and the black with the champagne goes well. The whole theme of the car goes well with the black and the champagne. So for me, I don't see this being an issue. On my Lusso, I had a similar thing, but we actually stopped the color right up to where the edges at the front are, where the hinges are, which again, it looks okay. It's not a permanent color change, in my opinion. So, or if it does really bother you, you can actually get us to take off the doors and do that. But I wouldn't suggest doing that, just because I feel like we don't like taking off doors and stuff like that, because again, I like to leave it how the factory have. And with this PPF, right now, if the customer wanted to remove this color, we'll be able to do it in a day or so. So it's a much easier, simpler process when we're doing that. But again, each customer is different. Each customer has different priorities in terms of what bothers them or what doesn't bother them. For this, the way it looks, go around the edge, go around the back, and have a look at the edges. It looks like it's a painted car in this color. You can't tell unless you start opening up the boot again and you start having a look. You get to see some areas that are again in the original color, but it doesn't bother me. And even look at the line, how it's all been closed in all the way around. Just a perfect job. Really happy. It looks absolutely fantastic. And this car obviously is a brand new car, so it's now got a different look to it. So this car was sent to us by Craig at Lamborghini Pangbourne. He was like, show me what you can do on the color PPF on this car. I'm relying on you. And that's exactly what we've done. So I'm hoping that he's going to love this car when he gets to see it. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to show you. This is a real prime example of what can happen and what we can do. Part of our customized range of our business. Obviously, we have enhanced, we have protect, we have maintain, and now we have customize. And this is what the customize looks like at Topaz. So you guys, you've seen obviously the process of what we've just done onto this car behind me, which actually is an incredible transformation. But let me introduce you to Joe, who is the crazy guy who drove the car back from Morocco to here. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much.
Welcome. What do you think of the car?
I've got a big stupid grin on my face, so I think that's a bit of a giveaway. I'm blown away. I've had 5 minutes to absorb it, and I still can't. It's just beautiful.
It's a massive transformation, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's an absolutely massive transformation. So first of all, how did the trip go?
Trip went really well. It's better than we expected.
Right.
So close to 1,500 miles, but we managed to get from Africa or Morocco to central London on one tank of diesel, which I'm sure none of these cars in here could do for sure.
No, they definitely can't. I was looking at my car that I drive on a daily basis, and I'm like, if I calculate, I get 250 miles.
Yes.
Per tank. It's not very good, but
it's not ULEZ compliant.
There you go. That's a shame, isn't it?
If
it was, that would have been my next company car. There you go.
Yes.
Cool. Let's talk about a little bit about why we did this. Obviously, the car came to us. Obviously, it's a charitable thing that I talked about right at the beginning. Obviously, can you give us a bit of context about that?
Sure. Yeah. So all the proceeds. So basically, it started off as my car. Michelin UK helped us with the whole journey and the trip and the expenses and stuff. But when I was coming to sell it, Michelin UK stepped in and said, look, we'll buy the car off you as long as you auction it off to a charity of choice. So I've chosen a charity called Mind because I've suffered from mental health problems most of my life, actually. And they specialise in that, and they're a great charity that are very close to my heart. And then that's when you guys got involved and suggested this. When James and Michelin told me initially, I thought he was actually joking. Because I was like, what? Topaz? Don't be silly. But I'm so glad that you have, because it's just, honestly, it is absolutely beautiful. And I really hope that, and I know it's going to all help to produce more money and more money to go towards charity.
Well, we hope so. Well, let's have a look around the car.
Sure.
And then we can see, and I can show you all the bits that we did on the car, and show you guys as well the after pictures and everything else, the videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get into it.
Awesome. Everything.
I mean, even if I don't know if you felt the paint that much before, but if you feel it now, it's super smooth, right?
It's beautiful.
And that's because before I had a lot of contaminants on the paintwork. So these are all contaminants that you have below surface contaminants and above surface contaminants. What this car had was both, obviously.
Okay.
Right? But the reason why it felt really rough at the beginning is because above the surface, it was just literally loads of fallout, contaminants, tar was literally sitting on top of the paint, never been cleaned before. So even
building up.
Okay. So even when you wash the car, it doesn't really clean it. So that's why we have a mechanical decontamination, the clay bar, which you probably would have seen and you probably used yourself. But yeah, there's different versions of the clay bar that we have. So we use 2 versions of the clay bar on this to get it to be this smooth.
Okay.
And then we also did an iron extraction to be able to remove all of the iron fillings that fall from fallout, industrial fallout. So you put it onto the paintwork and it just literally just drips away. So that's why it feels really smooth. That's before we even started the paint correction.
Okay. Oh, that's just right. That's the first step.
That's the first step.
What I'm worried about now is you're telling me this and I can feel that.
Yeah.
I bet you that actually makes this car a little bit more efficient again. Because the wind probably blows over it better, so maybe I need to do the challenge once more time.
Oh God! Honestly, you say that. So we throughout the years we've gone to F1 races, and we've had the privilege of applying some ceramic coatings onto F1 cars before they're about to go onto a race.
Okay.
That's because it makes them smoother.
It does make
slicker.
Wow.
So it does work. So you joke, but actually you probably will get an improvement
We should have come here first.
Yeah. You probably will get an improvement.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, so obviously the paintwork is that was done with the decontamination, and then we did 2 to 3 stages of paint correction.
Okay.
Hence why now, when you see under the lights and everything, there's no swirl marks and all that kind of stuff. It's been reduced substantially.
Okay.
I think we spent about 45 hours on this car. Something
Just
like that.
Normal Passat ownership, right?
Yeah. 45 hours of pampering.
Wow.
You know, and then again, you see all the chrome, all
Yes.
the rubbers have been degreased.
Yep.
You see again, all the plastics are all
Yeah.
very consistent. That's because all the products we've used, obviously our products, and I'm
Yep.
not plugging them in here, but genuinely speaking, they've been designed to work. You know, because we use them all the time.
Sure.
You know,
It's brought it back to life again.
It really has.
And like
It
you said,
really
they're all the
has.
same
Yeah.
colour. Because that's the first thing that goes, especially in the UK,
Yeah.
with our sort of extreme summers and winters we're getting.
Yeah.
Plastics and stuff lose colour, don't they? And the chrome, like you said, this was all pitted and
Yeah.
a bit corroded looking, and
That's right.
it all
yeah.
makes the car look a little bit worse over
yeah,
time. But
yeah.
now when it's all like this, it's just
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
incredible. So I mean, there's 3 things that actually made me really look at this car and go, amazing, oh my God, look at the transformation. The interior obviously is one of them. That's a real transformation. Honestly, it's one of those things where I look, when I came in, I was like, okay, this is going to be a big before and after.
Yes.
And now, truth be told, it is.
It's unreal. You guys sent me some clips of, especially the leather, like the centre armrests, where it was like before and after.
Yeah.
And I was like at home going, oh, my elbows have been on that.
Did you go have a shower a few times?
Yeah, 100%. Like you just, but I didn't.
You're like, oh my God, have I been sitting on all this
Exactly.
time?
We did the whole challenge in the car. But,
Yeah.
but I mean, the driver's seat, now you've seen the before in this video and many
Yeah.
times. And that was one of the big negatives when we picked this car up from the auction. Not that we could be fussy because it was $2.5 grand.
Yeah, of
but the
course.
driver's seat was horribly ripped here and here. And
Yeah.
it looked like a driver's seat that had done 100,000 miles,
Yeah,
wasn't looked after.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, you can't even see
Yeah.
where the repair is. And also, the first thing I noticed is when you touch it, the leather seems to come back to life. It's gone
Yeah.
from being plasticky to
That's
feeling
right.
like leather again.
Exactly. But then I think also
The engine bay.
this was for me like the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Honestly. It's just mental.
That is just,
Yeah.
it's insane at first glance, but then the further you look into it,
Yeah.
quite literally,
Yeah.
the more insane it becomes. I mean, like these runners here, the bonnet itself,
Yeah.
you could literally, I'll be happy to eat my dinner off that. Like it's, I'm so grateful that you guys got involved. Like really,
mate,
it's awesome.
No, mate, it's my absolute pleasure, and I thank you again for giving us the opportunity to get involved with something like this, which is a meaningful reason, you know,
Yep.
to do these kind of things, and we absolutely love it. So you know, I hope it will do well in auction.
Absolutely.
And you know, again, if it doesn't do well in auction, I'm gonna buy it.
Yes, you have to beat me first. I think you got a few more quid than I have. But,
No.
thank you, mate. No, I really appreciate it.
No, mate, it's
And,
our pleasure.
And
It's
it's
our
really
pleasure.
good to see you as
Thanks,
well.
buddy. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks to Topaz.